Blue-collar billionaires. Lately, this phrase has been showing up everywhere in Japanese media and on social networks. In Europe and North America, more and more young people are choosing hands-on work instead of traditional white-collar careers after college. They become electricians, plumbers, construction workers or mechanics, go independent, grow their businesses, and eventually build significant wealth. This trend is often discussed in the context of Generation Z with ideas like white-collar jobs are no longer safe, college degree doesn't guarantee anything anymore, and practical skills are stronger in the long run. In Japan, however, the story is often exaggerated by the media, framed with catchy headlines like "the end of white-collar work" or "the age of blue-collar jobs has arrived." But is that really true? Can the same phenomenon happening in the West also happen in Japan? As someone who was born and raised in Japan for over 30 years, I'd like to take a calm, realistic look at this question. First, we need to understand why this trend emerged in Europe and North America. The key point is this. This is not a story about a few exceptionally talented people succeeding through sheer effort. It is a structural shift driven by changes in society. Over the past decade, the relative value of white-collar work in the West has declined. As higher education expanded, having a college degree became common. At the same time, many office jobs, administrative works, middle management, coordination roles have been rapidly streamlined or eliminated due to advances in AI and automation. On the other hand, jobs like electrical work, plumbing, construction, and repair are deeply tied to physical on-site work and are difficult to replace. The skills acquired in these fields tend to translate directly into personal value. With enough experience, workers can take on jobs independently, start companies, hire employees, and scale their businesses. Another important factor is cultural. In Western societies, the term blue-collar does not carry the same level of social stigma it does in Japan. People are often judged by whether they can earn a living and stand on their own. As a result, moving from skilled worker to business owner and eventually to asset holder has become a realistic and socially accepted path. So what about Japan? Look at the data. According to Japan's basic survey on wage structure conducted by the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, the average monthly wage for full-time employees in Japan is roughly 330,000 yen. Look at industry with high concentration of blue-collar workers. The average monthly wage is about 352,600 yen in construction and 318,600 yen in manufacturing. By contrast, industries dominated by white-collar work tend to pay more. For example, finance and insurance average around 410,600 yen per month, while information and communications average about 391,000 yen. This shows that blue-collar wages in Japan are not extremely low. However, the data also makes it clear that simply choosing blue-collar work does not automatically lead to higher income. To understand why, we need to look at Japan's unique subcontracting system. Take the construction industry as an example. Projects often pass through multiple layers: primary contractors, secondary contractors, tertiary subcontractors, and beyond. At each level, a margin is taken. As a result, the people who actually do the physical work on site often receive the smallest share. This multi-layer subcontracting system and the wage suppression it creates has long been recognized as a problem across many industries in Japan. In other words, in Japan, having technical skill does not easily translate into building wealth. Beyond wages, working conditions are another major issue. Many blue-collar workplaces in Japan are dominated by a traditional craftsman mentality. Skills are often expected to be learned simply by watching, not taught systematically. At the same time, harsh scolding or verbal abuse is not uncommon. In industries like construction, full weekends off are still not the norm, and Saturday work remains common. Although labor reforms have brought some improvement, the image of long, irregular working hours remains strong. On top of that, workers are often at the mercy of primary contractors, making it difficult to control overtime, pricing, or workloads independently. This makes entrepreneurship and business expansion even harder. In short, I believe that a blue-collar billionaire phenomenon on the same scale as in the West is unlikely to happen in Japan, and even if it does, it will probably unfold much more slowly. One reason lies in Japanese social norms. In Japan, people place great importance not only on income or ability, but also how they perceive within their community. Parents, relatives, neighbors, classmates. Questions like, what company do you work for? Or, are you a regular employee? Or, do you work on a job site? Quietly but powerfully influence career choices. The relatively low social status still associated with blue-collar work is another major barrier. Even if the pay is decent, many people avoid these jobs because they are seen as socially undesirable. This is a fundamental difference from Western societies. That said, this does not mean white-collar workers in Japan are safe. Office work, administration, management, coordination, document preparation is also being heavily streamlined by AI. The era of being employed without a clear function is coming to an end. What is likely to happen is not a massive blue-collar boom like in the West, but rather a future where only a small number of highly skilled business-minded individuals thrive, while many others are gradually pushed out without becoming more prosperous. It is unlikely that Japan will experience a rapid spread of blue-collar billionaires in the same way as Europe or North America. Japan's wage structures, social perceptions, and cultural attitudes simply do not align in the same way. However, one thing is clear: the myth of white-collar security is steadily collapsing. In the Japan of the future, what will matter less is your job title, and what will matter more is what you can actually do and how independently you can live. How will this shift reshape Japan's view of work and success? It's something we need to observe calmly without getting swept in the hype or emotion. What do you think about this, friend? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. On this channel, I explore Japanese social issues from perspective of an ordinary Japanese person, so if you're interested, please consider subscribing. See you in the next video.